events. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Rahman, and I am the co-director of school programs. Welcome to Agami's fundraising event, right in the middle of a global pandemic. A pandemic which has disrupted our lives in a way that no one could have imagined. In a situation like this, it's really hard to find some kind of clarity, consistency. It's even harder to feel some kind of certainty. But there is one thing that we can be certain about, regardless of the hurdles that we may have to overcome. Studies after studies have shown that we are at our happiest when we help others. Doing for others has this powerful ability to boost our spirits. This pandemic has shown us that we are one humanity, and in each other do we find solace. You are here today because you have decided to help those in dire need, especially now. Please help us give our students a fighting chance. Education has been shown to be a significant factor in influencing aspirations, trajectory, and achievement. We need your support to make sure that this pandemic doesn't derail the dreams and ambitions of our students. So let's take a look at our donation graph to check our numbers. So as you know, our goal today was to reach $100,000, and we are almost there thanks to your support. I'm sure we'll get to our goal once you step forward and support us again like you've always have. Well, folks, it's that time again where I ask you for help. And this time I'm going to ask you to help our students get through this hump that we call the year 2020. So I'd like to take this moment actually to tell you a story behind your donations. So if you look up at the screen, you'll see a picture. All right. So this story is about a young, poverty-stricken girl from a remote town in Bangladesh. Her mom works as a maid, and her dad works as a rickshaw driver. She has her heart set on being in electrical engineering. Is it fiction, you might ask? Nope. Such a girl actually does exist. In fact, there are many girls and boys like her in our schools today. Her name is Marjuk. She came to Dhaka from a small town called Bhola about 10 years ago. She's been coming to Shohag Shapnadhara school for 8 years now, an Agami supported school, and her life has transformed. She's become an educated and confident young woman. She wants to be an electrical engineer because she's so fascinated by electronic circuits. Her PSC results show an impressive GPA of 4.5. She's put in a lot of hard work to make sure her GPA is high. She's so excited about her prospects in the future and can't wait to soak up all the opportunities ahead. She says, thanks, Agami, for letting her dream. But we at Agami say thank you, the supporters of Agami, for scaffolding us as we strive to change lives like Marju one by one. Please donate any amount you're comfortable with, and let's break this vicious cycle of poverty and illiteracy through education. Please do it for the Marjus of the world. All right, so now I'd like to change gears a little bit, and I'd like to put on my school programs director hat. As some of you know, I'm an educator in the Bay Area, and that makes me extremely sensitive to the trauma and despair that happens when school closes, especially in socioeconomically disadvantaged communities. So today, I'd like to talk to you about how we're navigating education at a time when everything seems to be falling to pieces. Agami has worked hard to make sure that our students understand that education is an important factor in their lives. Funding and running a school is hard enough, but even harder is changing the mindset of a people. Our families have taken an extremely hard decision to send their kids to school instead of sending them to work. When the pandemic hit, our kids lost all connection with our schools. Dropout rate was alarming. Many of our families immediately lost incomes and were thrust into deep poverty overnight. We asked ourselves, how do we remedy this situation? We decided to try the distance learning model. We knew it would be extremely hard, but definitely this was not our first rodeo with difficulty. Homeroom was born out of that deep need to somehow connect to our students. If you remember your school days, or if you have kids in school right now, you're probably familiar with the term. Homeroom is a class or room where students check in with their teachers and get all their info for the day. Our team decided that we will run our distant learning program with a homeroom structure. Each homeroom teacher will be responsible for a certain amount of kids, and most of the work assigned are worksheet hard copies with phones being used for supplemental work. And each week, we gave food in exchange for the work. Now let's talk about the important things, the impact. First, from a student's point of view. Students were ecstatic to get back some kind of normalcy, some kind of connection with their school. The first week, we had 70% of our students show up. As word of mouth took over, we're able to recoup 90% of the population. If one student in the class had a phone, he or she made sure that all other students were able to get that phone and use that phone to get messages from teachers. It was really, really heartwarming and amazing to hear of how students went above and beyond to turn in work and receive work from teachers and how much they relied on each other. They made those bonds during school, and those are still going strong. Now let's talk about another point of view, the impact on teachers. As we shifted to remote learning, we try to maintain rigor. Changing the way we implement teachers' training became first and foremost. In teachers' training, we addressed social emotional learning as well as academic learning. Teachers were trained to work with students in a way where learning complemented their lives rather than complicate their new reality. Our Agami Education Foundation staff worked with our teachers to train them on curriculum development and worksheet prep. We've been really fortunate enough to be able to capture some of those moments on a video. Stay tuned for a glimpse into homeroom.
নিমাই মজুমদার, লক্ষ্মীপুর সীমান্ত বাজার প্রাথমিক বিদ্যালয়ের প্রধান শিক্ষক। আগামী এডুকেশন ফাউন্ডেশন আমাদের বিদ্যালয়ে এসে ত্রাণ, ওয়ার্কশিট, পুষ্টিকর খাবার এগুলো বিতরণ করাতে একদিকে যেমন ছেলেমেয়েরা পুষ্টির অভাবটা পূরণ হচ্ছে, অন্যদিকে পড়ালেখার প্রতি তারা যথেষ্ট মনোযোগী হচ্ছে। এবং আমরা প্রতি সপ্তাহে ছেলে মেয়েদের যে ওয়ার্কশিটগুলো দিচ্ছি সেগুলো তারা বাসায় সঠিকভাবে পূরণ করে আমাদের কাছে জমা দিচ্ছে। এবং এই ওয়ার্কশিটের জন্য বাচ্চারা সবসময় এখন পড়ালেখা নিয়ে ব্যস্ত থাকছে।
আগামী এডুকেশন ফাউন্ডেশনের এমন উদ্যোগে আমরা অনেকটা স্বস্তির নিঃশ্বাস খুঁজে পেয়েছি, কারণ দীর্ঘদিন স্কুল বন্ধ থাকার কারণে বাচ্চাদের মধ্যে যে জড়তা হয়েছে, আশা করি হোমরুমের মাধ্যমে আমরা কিছুটা হলেও জড়তা কাটিয়ে উঠতে পারবো। ধন্যবাদ আগামী এডুকেশনকে আমাদের বিভিন্নভাবে সহায়তা করে আসার জন্য।
That video always lifts up my spirit. Just overcome with happy feelings that we gave our kids a chance.